Welcome to the Travel Think Tank Part 2. This is our signature show for the Hub Social Network. I'm Pat Miller, the Idea Coach, along with Tom Brousseau, the co-founder of the Hub, and we'll get a chance to hear from him and hear from you as we go through our call today. The Hub is the place where all in the travel industry are welcome under one roof, both agents and suppliers, to collaborate together and grow our way out of this unique situation that we have. This is the second of two founders calls for the Hub, and we're so happy that you're here today because we want to hear from you. We'll share our vision and we'll talk about what we have up our sleeve for our launch on August 3rd, but it has already been made better with the feedback and support of the industry leaders like you that are on the call today. So we're going to share our updates and the things that we've done since our last call. We're also going to introduce it for the first time to a bunch of folks that are on the call that weren't on the call last time, and then we'll hear from you about how we can make it even better. But the first thing is we want to make sure that we're listening and sharing our overall vision for the Hub. And this is the brainchild of Tom Brousseau. So Tom, can you share the vision of the Hub in case someone wasn't on the first call?
I can do that. Yes, absolutely. So, we gave a little bit of the history on our first call and talked about how this all came together. But ultimately the goal and what we're trying to achieve with the Hub is a place where the entire travel industry, suppliers, agents, destinations, attractions, really everyone can come together under one roof to build relationships, to connect, to learn, to support each other, in a place that does it with a strategy, does it in a place that's easy to work with, where all these tools and opportunities can be found. And so that was initially where we started from, and really coming out of the fact that, hey, the situation that we all find ourselves in is not an easy one, and it's going to take all of us working together to get to the place and get back to where we all would like to be. And I thought that the Hub would be an awesome place where we could have those conversations, where we could build lots of different cool programming and really tap into all the expertise that's out there in the travel industry, all under one roof. So as we were getting started, I had conversations with many of you, just to share the concept, just to get your thoughts and ideas, to say, hey, does this make sense? Is this something that would be of interest? Is this something that has a value? And, I thank you all so very much, for giving me the confidence, giving me some encouragement to say, hey, go for it, because, nothing like this really exists out there in the travel industry. Yeah, there's 27 different Zoom calls and webinars. In fact, I was on one today that I thought was excellent. And one thing, what I took away from that was exactly what we're trying to achieve here, is that, the number one most important thing that people are pointing to is that now is the time to connect. Now is the time to build relationships. Now is the time to work on yourself. And then also, now is the time to innovate. And I think we meet all of those criteria in the Hub. And one thing about the Hub is, as you all get in there and you start to learn more about it, navigate the platform, is that the Hub is really unlimited. And we're going to talk about some of the things we're accomplishing and some of the core and primary tools and values of the Hub. But yesterday, I was talking to Danielle Whitmore, and we came up with like 3 other really cool, impactful, important things that the Hub could do. And so as we grow and as the community grows, we want to continue to evolve and be that platform where the entire industry can come to and really get a ton of value from, and really get a lot of efficiency and get something that they can't find anywhere else.
And that's what we're trying to build. And with your feedback, we'll do our best to make it great. One of the pieces that I want to do before we move on, in case you haven't been in the software yet, you haven't seen the Hub Social Network, we keep on talking about it. Well, let's take a minute to show it off real quick so everyone can see what we're talking about. So I'm going to share my screen here real quick. So this is the front page of the Hub Social Network. And what you're going to see when you log in is a feed similar to a Facebook feed. But as we all know, there are advantages to being off Facebook. This is a community just for agents and suppliers to talk with one another. So when new folks like John join the group, they'll tell us all about themselves and we can interact with them. and improve our feed. We can do questions, we can do polls, we can do events, and we have a full list of programming that we're going to offer through the hub similar to this. And we're going to kill the boring one-way webinar. Everything we do is going to be driven by Q&A. In fact, much of this call will be Q&A in just a little bit. But we have consistent programming that we're going to put on throughout the week through the events tab here. We also have threaded conversation by topic. So announcements that we need to make, new member introductions, asking a question. We'll challenge our members with new questions of the week. Wins, so we have a place to celebrate, resources and tools, and the vault. Now, the vault is important because everything we do will be recorded and then dropped into the vault. So if you're booking someone to Riviera Maya, for example, and you want to see, yeah, didn't the guys do an interview with the person from the thing? You can click on the vault and search it to find the recordings of the events that we've done in the past. Also, there's a great member directory here and a lot of interactive tools, including articles that act much like a blog repository. So this is going to get, it's up and running now, and it'll be up and running on August 3rd when we launch. But what's unique about having a social network, especially one that's relying on business, it gets better the bigger it gets. So the more people that join, the more rich the conversation becomes. So we'll show you more of that as we get closer to launch. But I just wanted to give you a chance to see the type of interactivity that we're going to have between agents and suppliers and agents under one roof. So one other thing that was out there that Tom brought up, saying he really didn't have a place to have all the information in one place. Not only were the agents and suppliers not together under one roof, he saw that there might be an opportunity for us to create a place where industry resources were listed, like an industry calendar for events that are happening, or deals and discounts for us to show for agents and suppliers to both see what's going on. So we are building one, which is terribly exciting. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I tested it before the call. So let's hope this works the way that it should. Otherwise, #technology. So we're going to play this short video that is a tour of our new guide tool we're calling the Manifest. So let's take a look at that right now.
Hello and welcome aboard the Manifest. I hope you're ready for your sneak peek. We begin our journey highlighting travel events submitted by the members of the Hub. Events can be viewed in a variety of ways, including a very visual gallery, a calendar of upcoming events, and even a list. Whichever view you choose, there are options to search, sort, and filter to find exactly what you need. And if you have an event to submit, there's a simple form to complete with all the event details. If you're looking for one-stop shopping for all the best events in the industry, the Manifest is your final destination. And if you want a non-stop connection to all the upcoming promotions, check out the promotions link in the Manifest. You can sort by suppliers and use the various tags to find the best promotions for your client. We're making our way down the runway with the Manifest, and we'll have more to share soon. Please sit back and enjoy the ride.
So that's a short sample of the Manifest tool that we're building. And we call it a tool because it's something that the more that we use, the better it gets. So Tom, is there anything that you want to add about the Manifest and what kind of potential that it has for this group?
Yeah, I think, being a working, functioning travel agent, like a lot of people on this call, it's all about efficiency and, all this sorting through emails and looking at websites and looking through Facebook posts and trying to figure out what's what on a daily basis. And this was actually Randy Ott's idea, because what if, in the morning, you could just log on to the Manifest, you could kind of do a little debrief, kind of see what's new, what's happening, and the Manifest becomes a one-stop shop that allows you to kind of reorientate yourself for business that day. And the Manifest will continue to grow, and we see lots of ways to utilize this database that Jennifer's building. And that's just one very small part of the hub, but really one piece that can be really important and really impactful for agents and suppliers. We all try to do our schedules, and we're all trying to figure out where we're supposed to be, and especially when the days return, we're all traveling again. I know from experience that in the fall, in the late fall and winter, there's people on this call who are on airplanes back to back for like 2 weeks straight. and trying to keep all those events straight and be in the right place at the right time, or prioritize your time, schedule, and money in terms of what you want to focus on. I think the manifest can really help contribute to making that a very easy process.
And that's something that we'll build together. So we definitely want to learn from you about what you want to see on there and how we can improve it. So there's another concept that we're playing with, is the virtual BDM concept. And Tom, you've been leading on this. So tell us about the virtual BDM and where we stand today.
Sure. One of the things that came up in the last call, and one of the things that we're looking at as a tool and capability of the hub, is that we all know how important it is to stay engaged both as a supplier with our accounts and as accounts with our supplier. And these days, there's some limited resources. People aren't capable of traveling as much. People can't come into offices and make sales calls like we used to. So one of the concepts that we're building on the hub is called virtual BDM. And virtual BDM would allow suppliers to stay engaged with their accounts and do a lot of the same job functions as they currently do now, but only do them virtually in a very efficient way. So sales calls, product trainings, new account development, the ability to have forums and discussion with accounts, the ability to have office hour appointments. So if a BDM is going to be available twice a week for an hour, and you need to talk to him about something, you can schedule some time. Maybe it's some marketing, maybe it's a challenge or problem that you're having. So that virtual BDM functionality becomes a tool on the hub that we can then use. So, excuse me, where we're at is I think, having a good idea of what the BDM job functions are, we put together a survey, and we just wanted to get some feedback from all of you. And we have both a supplier and an agent version. And if we could get your help, I think Jennifer is going to drop those into the chat. If you could just take a few minutes and give us your thoughts on some of those virtual BDM elements, it will really help us to design this. It'll really help to direct us, or it will tell us that, hey, you know what? I don't like it. I don't need it. I don't want it. And that's perfectly good feedback, and that's what this is all about. We're not going to just produce stuff in a vacuum and throw it out there into the world. We're going to build this together. That's one very important part of this. One thing that I said, and I'll reinforce today, is that the hub is not Pat Miller's thing. It's not Tom's thing. It's our thing. And so as we build this, we have lots and lots of great minds here, right? We can do some really cool things, and we can do it together. So if you would take just a quick second out of your day later today to give us some feedback. It's a SurveyMonkey. It's a quick 5-minute thing, I think, just a SurveyMonkey thing, but it'll give us a really good read on what agents think about virtual BDM and what suppliers think about virtual BDM.
So in addition to that, we're going to have a lot of live programming. And we cooked up a new piece of live programming. And Tom, I think it's safe to say we cooked this up by accident, right? Just this past week, the Postcards program.
Yes. Well, one of the things we'll talk about later is HUBSTARs, and I'll share more about that with you as you go. But with all of you guys traveling, to Mexico, James Bergley's been down there. A bunch of us are going down there next week. Andrea Wright's been down there. And we really want to take advantage and really show people what the experience of travel is like, what's happening down there, what's happening firsthand. So we somewhat out of thin air last Thursday created what's called the Hub Postcard on Location, and we quickly pulled this together. My good friend Jennifer Waldron was down there at Eldorado Maroma. And here is a bit of that, of what resulted.
Now, the full show is 37.5 minutes. So
Yeah,
we're only going to share like the first 45 seconds or so, but it'll give you an idea of what we have going on. It's time for a Hub Postcard on Location, coming to you today from the amazing Palafitos Overwater Bungalows at the El Dorado Maroma in beautiful Riviera Maya, Mexico. with us today, we have two incredible guests, and for safety's sake, we'll talk to them one at a time because they're doing a great job of social distancing to keep everyone safe and healthy at this beautiful resort. We'll start, of course, at the top with the big cheese. Senora Dolores Lopez Lira, one of the owners of the El Dorado Resorts and co-founder of Lomas Travel. Buenos dias, Dolores. How are you today?
Hola, we are excelente. Gracias.
So the call goes on, and what's unique about the call, and you'll see here, and I'll zoom forward just a little bit, Jennifer Waldron was there as well. We talked about health and safety, and then there's Jennifer doing her thing, and then they took us on the tour of the overwater bungalows, the Palafitos here. And then at the end, we put in their pre-produced video for the overwater Palafitos. So it's our way to do some live on location stuff, and it's a way that we can take advantage of when we're all traveling, so we can show off great destinations, and we can also feature our travel agents as they go out and do their thing. So it's something that kind of got cooked up by accident, but it's a way that we can feature all these wonderful destinations and expose our agent community to new places all around the world that they can take their clients. So it's something we're really excited about, and we have a couple coming up. Where are you traveling next week, Tom?
Yes, actually, we have two coming up. Actually, Tom Varghese, who I just noticed, by the way, is in the pool with Kim Goldstein and his family, and all together right now at the Grand at Moon Palace at this very moment. I saw their Facebook post, and I was really jealous. So Tom is down in Cancun, and we are going to do a postcard with him and Danny Shaman at the Fives next week. And then I am super excited because I am actually going to the Hyatt Ziva, and I'm going to get to hang out with my friend Michelle Payette and Andrea Wright and a whole bunch of really awesome Playa Resorts travel agent producers. And we are going to do a postcard from there as well. And, you know, we want to continue to create this content. So, you know, one of the things we want to do is, you know, as you guys create your travel plans, and remember, as we go, you know, this can be from anywhere in the world. You can do a postcard from the hub at some point in the future in front of the Eiffel Tower. You can do a postcard from the hub on a golf course in Ireland. You really, you know, think of all the content that we're creating. Think of the unique stories that we can tell, and the value of that to the travel agency community, the value of that to our consumers, you know, things that you can share on Facebook and that you can also reference. You know, if you're looking for information about a particular destination or topic, or want to just see what's up, all of those are going to be available in the vault, and you can easily tap into them. Also can be a great training tool. You know, if you have a new person coming on board or a relatively new agent, you know, there's a lot to be learned, you know, from something as simple as a 30 to 40 minute postcard. And there's also finally, hopefully there's a little entertainment value as well. And, you know, they're fun to watch. And the good news is we all made them together.
The other thing that's neat about them is it's not targeting the general public. We're targeting the agents that will place the public there. So what you'll see if you watch this postcard is Jennifer and Dolores were answering questions from an agent's point of view. What do I need to know to tell my customers about coming to the Palafitos? So it's a really great way to drive sales and drive adoption of the resorts, because the only folks that we're talking to are agents that might be able to place people at the resorts. So for that reason, we're pretty excited about it. All right, so we're coming into the end of our portion of the call today, and we want to definitely do Q&A. So if you have questions or something you'd like to jump in and say or share about things that you've seen or heard or how you're feeling, drop just like a little comment in the chat, and Jennifer, the showrunner, will alert us and we'll get you on camera. So start thinking about what questions you have and what feedback you might have. But our programming is in the works, and where we stand right now is that we have 34 industry leaders in the hub already signed up, which is great. Many of you are already in there, so thank you for that. So in addition to that, we're getting ready to launch. So here's what's happening next. We're going to take our feedback from the call today. We're going to further refine our products, and then we're going to put memberships on sale. Yikes. I can't believe that we're at that point, but we're at that point because the site officially launches on Monday, August 3rd. So we are just under 2 weeks away from showtime. And we're going to offer an introductory rate for agents and suppliers for the first 30 days because we want to make sure that the hub is accessible to everyone, especially during this time when bookings are down and times are tough. So this is where the rubber meets the road. Here's how we're seeing our memberships. We're going to offer 3 different level of memberships. And Jennifer Evans had authorship in this, so high five Jennifer Evans for being brilliant. Our main offer is going to be $19.99 a month for agents or suppliers. Main offer, you're in all day, you can come to all the events. It's less than $20 a month every month. That's if you're a solo operator. But thanks to Jennifer's input on the last call, she asked, well, what if I had, 2 to 5 members? What if I had 6 or more members? So we created a package. If you have 2 to 5 members of your organization, be it suppliers or agents, that will be $14.99. So there's a $5 price break there. And then what if I have 6 to 10? Great. We'd love to have 6 to 10. We'll offer you another break down to $10.99. So from Jennifer's point of view, that has multiple agents or multiple suppliers in your organization that want to join, we'll work with you to get your entire team into the power of the hub. Now, what if I have more than 10? We'll definitely work something out with you. Reach out to Tom, and we will collaborate with you to get your entire team into the hub. Because again, when everyone's under one roof, the more people that get in here, the better we all are. Plus, all memberships include a risk-free 14-day trial. So if you want to check it out, or a member wants to check it out and see what it's all about, we'll let them in for 14 days to look around before anything gets charged. We figured we want to open the access, not close it. We want to make it easy for people to get in here, and we want to drive collaboration. So if you're sitting there right now and you're curious, okay, so how can I help? This sounds pretty cool. What can I do? Well, there's a couple of different ways. The membership site is live, so you can share that link with your colleagues and followers. The $19.99 link is up, and right after this call, the multi-member links will go live. But the main link is up on our website. The second thing you can do is do what Jennifer Donchez is going to do, and we're going to bring Jennifer on because she's going to tell us about it. We are encouraging you, if you have a group, a private group that you're already running, we can make a home for you on the hub. So Jennifer, I'm going to unmute you. Can you share with us about the Female Leaders in Travel Conclave and what you have in mind?
Hi. And Tom, guess what? I'm going next week too. So I will see you next week at Hyatt Ziva, which is lovely. So yeah, I'm part of a collective group of ladies in the travel industry, and we have an event, and it's called the Female Leaders in Travel Conclave. I know Monica Carnes, who's part of the hub as well, is involved in it. And there are 48 women, and some of them are actually not on Facebook. So we've created, and Sandy Anderson is also part of it, and Susan Peavy. And so last year's members, we created like a WhatsApp group, but that's limited to, touch base with everybody and, put things on there. And then if you're not on Facebook, it's also limiting to share and, send information and updates. And so I spoke with Tom about it, and we have a group now on the hub, and I've put the link up in our Facebook group, and it will also be shared via our WhatsApp group too, just so people can, the ladies can come and try it for 2 weeks and see if they would like to be a part of it. But we intend on also putting something out there on the calendar because it sold out very, very quickly. I'm still getting requests for people to come. So next year's we'll put on the calendar in the hub, and then, people can apply and get the information right from that calendar, which is incredible because it helps us even plan events. We can look ahead and see what are we in conflict with, rather than, sending out a mass email to some of the ladies that are, kind of helpful in deciding the dates. We come back and say, oh no, that's an ASTA event, that's a GTM event. So now we can just broadly look on the hub's calendar and say, okay, it doesn't look like anything's going on this week. Let's put ours on there. And I think it's a great resource. I'm thrilled that the ladies are on that, and it's a private group. That's the other thing. So it's private. So we can share information, and unless you're part of that group, other people in the hub won't see it.
And I'd like to show it real quick, if that's okay. And I'm not going to like show exactly what you're talking about, but I do want to give them an idea of what we're talking about, if that's okay with you, Jennifer.
Yeah, sure, for
Okay,
sure.
great. So what's cool about the groups in the Hub is that the Hub is a full-blown social network that has events and topics and such. But when you click on groups, here's the Female Leaders in Travel Conclave. When you enter that group, it's a hub inside the Hub. Jennifer and her team and her group can have their own topics of conversation. They can have their own events. They can have their own social media feed. They can have their own articles if they want to write blogs and trade and share. All of that can happen inside their own group. And our vision is that not only HUBSTAR agents like Jennifer could have their own groups inside here, but Tom, we've also talked about suppliers having their own groups. Can you talk about that for a second?
Yes, absolutely. Same, in the way that the application works, the private room application works very well for suppliers as well, because if they want to conduct business, and this sort of feeds into the virtual BDM conversation, but if they want to do business in a private room with their accounts, if they want to have their own events, if they want to have their own forums and conversations in their own personal private area of the Hub, that's all very doable. And so really any group application, whether it's from a supplier standpoint or whether it's a host agency, let's say, for example, a host agency wanted to use the tools of the Hub to conduct business for all of their members, or maybe an executive group, or some specialized agents within their group. All of those tools are there. So why go out and build something? Why go out and pay a bunch of money for the development of these tools when everything's already here on a turnkey basis? So the supplier aspect of this, the host agency piece, there's tons of different, like in Jennifer's group, there's tons of little mini consortia and marketing group alliances that are out there in the industry. And this is a great place for them to make a home where they can do business in a very simple way and have a business strategy that surrounds it that the Hub can support. Same thing with private Facebook groups. A lot of people have private agent Facebook groups out there, and the Hub allows them to do business in a little bit different way, to expand their horizons. There's only so much that Facebook can do, and the Hub can do much, much more in terms of bringing those groups to life. So the private groups piece is, I think, really going to be a hugely popular part about the Hub. And it's something that you can't do anywhere else. Just in my humble opinion, at least from my knowledge, I don't think it really exists in the way that it does today.
So we have a few more things before we go to straight Q&A. So if you have any questions, please jump into the chat and let us know. But I don't want to let you go, Jennifer. As one of our Hub stars, can you share just some observations and your feedback on the Hub in general and what you'd like to see us do? Like, what are you seeing here as far as an opportunity?
Well, it's, I've spent time talking with Tom about what it can do. And he's done a really great job sharing what it can do. What I've tried to focus on is what other things don't do, so that we can say, oh, we have the benefit of using this. I've downloaded the app on my phone because during the day, like, it's a little bit more difficult for me. I absolutely do not go on Facebook on my computer during the day. I'd rather look at notifications via my app. And so using this as on the Hub and getting notifications on the Hub app, I think is great. It flags you. It gives you an idea, like, I have to log on and see this. It's like a message. If anybody's on Facebook, you get like that, a DM or something, and you pay attention to it. I'm looking forward to being able to communicate with my group that way, and share messages and update them, because it just sharing, mounds of emails. We're inundated with emails every day, and trying to go through what was the last thing that was said is hard. Having it all here for our group is so much better. Once everybody joins, it's also going to be nice for me that I don't have to say, okay, these two ladies are not on Facebook. Now I have to reach out to them. So hopefully it's a great tool that we can all communicate with each other. And again, I think having a calendar, there has been so many times where I've forgotten what event we got to save the date for, and it's buried somewhere in my email, and I don't remember, was it this date or this date? And it will be so nice to just go and look on a calendar to be able to plan that. And then if, Andrea, who has also been part of the female leaders in that she hosted an event at the Hyatt last year for our last meeting. If we wanted to invite her or ask her a question about, our next meeting, if, the Hyatt is going to do something, it's real easy to just do it that way rather than have to go back, get out of the phone, go into your emails, and then potentially ask that question and even invite her into it and share photos. Like, I'm hopeful that we can all share photos with everybody too, rather than having to airdrop them when you're at an event, post them later on for everybody. I think that'll be great.
Well, I know our tech team will be salivating at solving that problem. That sounds great. And we're excited to have you and our other HubStars to not only be on the 24/7 social media, but to teach and host events for us as well. So we look forward to learning from you, and we're really glad that your group is here, and we're glad that you're here. So thank you for your time today. Much appreciated. Okay, so one more thing that you can do. So number one you can do is join, because we'd love to have you. Number two is we'd love to consider having your group be on the Hub platform, because it gets better with more groups. And the third part is marketing partnerships with suppliers. So we're looking for suppliers and HubStars with big lists that would be open to helping us promote the launch. And specifically, action steps are there interviews on podcasts that you do? Are there video interviews that we could take part in? Do you have guest blog posts? Could we be included in an email blast? Are social media posts about the new group? Because we are in a race to unite the travel industry as quickly as we can. So when we all get super busy again, we're here for each other. Like, that's how at least I'm thinking about it. Tom, is that how you're thinking about it? We got to get people in here now?
Yes, absolutely. Because, obviously that's, it's very important to begin the process of actually living the Hub. Up to now, we're showing you some examples of what we can do, some very tangible things like the postcard and the manifest. But once we really get in there and we really start working, that's when things will come together. And then that's where also all these connections will be made. And, I just think about a future where, we can have members of the Hub really from all over the world. The Hub doesn't care. The Hub welcomes everyone. So we could have travel agents from Canada and Mexico and Europe, and suppliers from all over the world, all as a part of the Hub. So think about what that means in terms of a very, very cool and robust community when we're all in there together. And so, the key to everything is momentum. And so if we can start to get some momentum, get the word out there, we have now 36 members in there because we added 2 more today with Rose Gray and Danielle Whitmore. And that's a great start. I mean, for the new members that go to the Hub, they're going to see a lot of familiar faces there. They're going to see a lot of familiar names there. And then once we start to really get the Hub working, I think that's where the value really comes in. And it's the value of us as a collective, doing what we talked about at the beginning, which is building relationships, connecting, innovating. And I think the sky's the limit, once that process starts.
The last thing that we want to share before we turn over to questions is the first focus we will have is how to hub. We're going to spend the first month teaching people how to use the software when we do our live events, what they'll learn from the experts that we put on camera. So we're going to be very purposeful in the first 30 days to make sure everyone gets up to speed quickly, so the software becomes second nature, that everyone has it on their phone, that everyone's profiles are filled out. Because if we get off to a good start, to Tom's point, momentum will carry us through. So now we reach the point of the call that we want to welcome your feedback and your questions and your ideas. And we have Luis is going to break the ice for us because he was asking about the manifest. So Luis, I'm unmuting your mic. Can you share with us what you'd like to know about the manifest, or what you might like to see us do?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to be part of the Hub, and obviously Amsterdam MC. I think this is a great idea. The Hub is going to be great because it's going to be a very good way for you to create a network, and even outside where you operate. Anyways, so my question is, with the groups that you're going to be able to create on the Hub, are you going to be able, as a supplier, to create, to create fam trips, or even to co-op fam trips with other suppliers? That's one. And the other one is, for example, if you are able to co-op fam trip with another supplier, how much is gonna be the cost for to create a group on the Hub?
Tom, you want to take that one about the trips
Sure.
on the hub?
Yeah, so Luis, I don't 100% understand the fam trip application quite yet, so we can talk about that a little bit more. And then for suppliers to create their own private groups on the hub, we're just charging an extra $20 a month.
Okay.
That's really part of like a part of the virtual BDM functionality. You have accessibility to all of those, all those resources. Definitely some accessibility to some support, in terms of how it's being used, helping you develop the business strategy piece of it, attracting members and so forth. So it's just an extra $20 a month for that.
Okay. And about the question with the groups, it's just like what Jennifer Donches was talking about, her female leaders going to, I think it's Cabo. Like she created a group, so for next year, she can invite other women to go to the, female leadership. So what I was saying is suppliers are going to be able to create groups to create or invite people to fam trips or whatsoever. That was kind of like my question. I don't know if you...
Gotcha. Sure. Yeah, so as Pat did a little demo of how the groups functionality works. So yes, within that room, there's events, there's an event calendar, there's different forums, lots of ways to inform and educate other members. So fam trips would definitely be upcoming fam trips, or even a prep for a fam trip. I mean, what if you use the private room on a hub as a supplier to do like a pre-fam trip orientation? Get all of who's ever attending that fam trip together to say, here's their orientation, here's what's going to happen. Maybe invite some supplier representatives on to say, here's our pre-fam prep, here's the expectations. Wouldn't we all get a lot more out of a fam trip if there was a sales strategy attached to it? What if there was a post-fam gathering of all the people who went on the trip to kind of talk about it? Hey, what do we like? What do we not like? Give some feedback. And now we have a cohesive business strategy. It's not just, the marching around, to 20 different hotels in a few days. There's a lot more to that business strategy that I think benefits the supplier and also benefits the agents who participate.
And I think,
thank you so much, Tom.
And I think, Luis, to follow up on what Tom was saying, a few of the technical aspects that we can do once you're inside of a group. Once you get, let's say you had 75 people in your group. As the moderator of the group, you can message them all through the hub and send them information, and then host your events pre and post. And then while you're on the fam trip, you could set up a little set and encourage and tell all the agents in advance, let's broadcast live on your Facebook Live. Let's take pictures and send them out to, like, you could preset events, communicate all that stuff in advance, have the event post-event like Tom was talking about, and really connect with people, because that way a trip doesn't end when they get on the plane. It goes out and continues the whole time. So we would love to do that. Let's see here. Susan has a question. Susan, can we get some feedback from you? And would you mind asking your question? I'd appreciate it.
I was just curious if we could do a prepay for that, like a yearly prepay instead of doing it monthly.
Yes, we offer monthly and annual, and I think the math turns out to be 10 months for 12, something like that. So there's a discount if you prepay. I have to run the numbers. I think it's 17% is the discount. It's like $19.99 or $199 a year.
Okay, and then we'll get a link for that to be able to do that transaction?
Absolutely. What you'll see, and I'm going to do a quick share screen. So thanks for setting me up here. That's really handy. So on our landing page, this is the page where people sign up. And it talks all about the hub and yada, yada, yada. We put in here the community standards because we want to make sure that people are showing up in the right way. We're going to support one another. We're going to engage. We're going to listen. We're going to have fun. Why you should join, a big thank you. And then down at the bottom, this is where the membership plans will be. So it'll be, here's the singular plan, the 2 to 5 plan, then the 6 to 10 plan will be here. And if you have more than 10, just get a hold of Tom and we can create a custom plan for you.
So Pat, does that then allow for the annual payment right there? It says monthly.
Yes. So it starts with that. Thank you for asking that question, Jennifer. So thank you. So you go to the more details and there it is. So it's $19.99 or $199. And it says try for free because we've had it set to a 14-day free trial. And yeah, 17%. Look at me with the big math. Yeah, 17%. There it is. So, Susan, while I still have you, what are your thoughts? What are your ideas? What are you seeing here? Do you think that this would be valuable to you and people in your network?
Absolutely. I can't wait. I'm from Boston and it's hard to network in my area. So I kind of have my feet is out to a lot of different agents. I'm really, really excited. I really think that this is going to really thrive. So thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really happy to be part of this.
It's so great that you're here. Thank you. Tom, do you want to talk a little bit about the folks in the hub and how they choose to come in? Because we had some questions about that on the last call.
Oh, with the existing hub members?
About which agents are going to come into the hub and what kind of agents would get the most out of using the hub and what agents might not get the most out of using the hub.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, I see. You're being very politically correct.
I'm being very politically correct, Tom. I'm trying to throw you a softball very politically correctly.
Gotcha. Well, one of the things that, and again, just not that I feel the need to do this because hopefully you guys all know me well enough, but just a demonstration that we are listening. One of the things that Sarah Klein brought up is just the importance of vetting members, and when you go to the membership page and you get there, you're going to see some hopefully nuanced verbiage that we put in there that really addresses what our expectations are for agent members joining the hubs. And we very specifically said that if you're a member, if you're a part of a multi-level marketing organization, please forego your membership in the hub. Trying to be somewhat nuanced and respectful, but at the same time just setting the expectation that there's professional standards for what constitutes a travel agent that we believe in, and we wanted you to know, Sarah Klein specifically, that we addressed that in this initial start. We don't really have a way to do a lot of not complex, but we don't have a way to do a lot of vetting, like providing referrals and recommendations and things like that, unfortunately. But we're going to do our best to manage that piece of it, knowing that we really do want to keep this to the agents that are out there working, as serious travel agents, whether it's full-time, part-time, independent contractor, or whatever, versus the multi-level marketing member dabblers in our business.
That was very politically correct. I did get it to you in that way, which is good. I appreciate that. Okay, so we've only got a few moments left here. Are there other thoughts that want to be shared? We'd love to hear from you. And I do want, if we can, let's just spend 2 minutes just doing a little bit of a creative session. You're all on this call because Tom has had the chance to share the vision with you, and you've been very successful in your careers. So if you were us, what are we missing? And if you were running this, what would you do to get this to the largest number of people as quickly as possible? That is a simple, creative question. We're going to shut up and listen. What's on your mind? Just unmute your microphone and jump in with how can we get it to the most people? And is there something that we're missing that we're just too close to it to see?
So, okay, so since I'll jump in. I think, first of all, this is great, and hello to everybody out there. I think, maybe some more diversity within the group, a mixture of some other folks that are selling other different products, and maybe some of their insight on what's going on. Same thing from the supplier side as well.
That's a really good point, Joe. We do have within the membership, we do have some representation from the destination side. We have Robin Basso and Joel Peterson, and we're working hard to build that piece of it. And then we're working also hard to build the cruise side of things. And that's personally my fault, just really because I have not enjoyed a lot of cruise relationships over the years. So we have John DiOrio in there, but we're really working hard to diversify and bring some more cruise representation into the group, because that's such a very important part of our our business.
So Tom, you probably know my background. I have a pretty big reach into the cruise side, and I'd be glad to help you on that side, both from an agent standpoint and certainly from a supplier standpoint.
Yeah, I do remember that, Joe. Back in the day, you were my favorite cruise guy. You were the friendliest, and you were the only one that I seem to connect with. So I know you have a lot of great relationships with all those folks, and we really do want that. And same for on the destination side. I mentioned Danielle Whitmore earlier. She came from Apple Leisure Group and Mark Travel and Apple Vacations, and has a really great background with all the CVBs and destination groups that are out there. So that's really important. Same for attractions. All the different attractions that are out there, whether it's in Mexico or in Europe or wherever it might be, we want to work on that as well.
And there's also tour operators that don't deal strictly in destinations like the Caribbean. There's other ones out there too.
Yeah,
I know pretty well, which I think would be some good people to invite. And again, offline, Tom, you and I can share, and I can share some names with you.
I would love that, Joe. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. My pleasure.
Yes, you're hired, Joe. Hired. Thank you for
okay, good. I need more hours.
No, we really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
What other questions or comments? Lisa drops into the chat that one way we could get more members is to invite someone. If every member invited someone they think that would benefit, that would grow exponentially. So that's a brilliant idea. Someone else, so unmute your microphone. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? And how can we get this to the largest amount of people as quickly as possible?
Pat, why don't you approach some of the consortias to send it out to their members, AKA Joe Giffo? Why don't you suggest that the Mazzas send it to their their BDMs or whatever to send it out and have people try it for 2 weeks. Sandy, I know she's very tight with the people at Signature. Maybe she might suggest it to somebody at Signature as well, and along that way, because I think they have the huge database of their agents and their agent communities.
Yeah, Jennifer, we definitely could do that because we got both avenues we could go, from the Nest side and both from the Travel Saver side. So it's a pretty big reach.
Thank you so much for that. And along those lines, one thing we said last time, and I just want to reinforce it now, Jennifer, based on what you said, and same for Joe, from a consortia standpoint, is that we're not a consortia. We're not a host. We're not here to compete and steal customers or steal agents or do anything like that. We are purely there to support and augment and to fill gaps and to maybe do some things in maybe a little bit different way. So when we say that everyone is welcome, whether you're a member of a consortia or you have a host agent, our goal, our mission is not to get in the middle of that whatsoever, but to support it in any way that we can.
And to take that one step further, if a consortia wants to come as a group, we could give them a group room for them to participate and communicate with one another inside the hub, which is something we can absolutely do. I've got it on Brady Bunch view now, for those of you old enough to know what that means. Sadly, I am. And I'm looking at the folks that are staring into the camera and that are totally engaged. And I want to get some more diverse voices going on here. So Danielle or Susan Crowder, I'm seeing you're staring in and ready to say something. Tara, I can see it. Sandy, Katie, come on, say what's on your mind. What are we missing? Tell us how we can get this out to more people.
So further to inviting everyone, which is a great idea, if everyone invited someone or some pass along, maybe you could share a pass along invitation or material that could just easily be sent on. A special invitation, create a special invitation, you open it, here's the link, a brief description of what it is. So something easy to pass and share. Or post, either or. But I find it easier if we all share the same language of message that you want us to share, instead of individually writing what we think it is.
I can see the Hub creative team frantically taking notes right now. So the brains of the operation will help us with that, which is great. Susan or Tanya, Sarah Klein, thoughts, comments? What's on your mind? What are you thinking?
Actually, I think that's a good idea, having something consistent that we can all share. What was sent out last week under HUBSTARs, I kind of tried to configure that to where I could share it with some colleagues and friends, and it didn't share well. So maybe something we can work on that we can blast out easy.
Okay.
Right.
That's good. That's good. We'll do better on that. That's good to know. Tanya?
Is it too windy?
No, you sound great.
Okay, good. So I'm wondering if, so there, as you've acknowledged, there are some pieces here that, you know, I would echo what the speaker just said, Sarah, that, I mean, I've shared with a couple of my other, you know, local travel agent friends, and it was a little bit lukewarm, the reception, but probably the most appealing thing about this for me is that it is a peer-to-peer industry group, right? Like, I know a lot of people in other industries that I network with who are very successful, who belong to industry-based peer-to-peer groups that they pay to belong to, that they get a lot of benefit from. And that is kind of how I'm viewing this, is that that is something that I don't get necessarily from my larger organization. I've got all the training I could possibly want. I've got all the access to suppliers and BDMs I could possibly want. But what I don't have is access to people who are trying to do the same thing I'm trying to do and who are better than me and are at a place where I want to be, and maybe we can help each other get there. And if I'm going to share this with other agents, that's the hook that I'm going to use.
Yeah, peer-to-peer is a great phrase. Tom, you're a practicing agent. What do you think of that?
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome, and I think that's what we'll have. That's what will evolve on the hub as people come in. Us really working through, what are the best applications, what are the individual needs, because everyone, everyone might have a different need. Somebody else might say, hey, you know what? I really don't have very good BDM relationships. I don't know any suppliers, and I really don't have that opportunity. And there's something there for them. Or Tanya, on your point, having a peer-to-peer relationship, maybe you guys all get together and 15 or 20 of you, form your own group, right? You have certain specialties, or you have certain interests, or maybe you want to tackle a certain problem or challenge. Maybe you want to have a book club. I mean, not to disparage book clubs, because there's nothing wrong with it, but maybe there's, maybe you all want to get together and connect that way.
Yep.
And all those things are possible, whether it's, technical training, brainstorming, problem solving, the social aspect with like the book club concept, for example. All those things are possible. And just think about the connectivity that you have. Even the people on this call, on this call today are many of the best travel agents in the country. I'm biased, but that's what I believe. And so, I know all these people. They're all friends and colleagues, and I've seen them in action. I've seen them collect lots of awards, and tapping into that, being able to tap into that, from that perspective of an agent in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, that says, hey, you know what? Now I'm peer-to-peer with 15 or 20 people that are really, that are really, facing the world and going after things like me. Or maybe they might have some specific product knowledge that says, hey, I really want to take my business in this direction, and I want to be a European river cruise specialist, right? Well, I don't know anything about being a European river cruise specialist, but 10 people on here do. And what if we all work together to really dominate the European river cruise business? And now that turns into knowledge, that turns into action and support and sales. Because the biggest thing, one of the drivers of this whole hub thing is that it sucks being alone, right? Trying to tackle this stuff on your own, especially now, it's not fun. And one of the things that the hub does is it brings people together so that we can solve these challenges together, as opposed to alone. And if we do that, I think we're all going to be far more successful. We're going to be happier, and we're going to be faster.
I have another idea for, as you prepare to launch in August, maybe you have some type of launch party or series of launch, like get a very prominent figure in the industry that everyone would want to sign on and listen to, and for everyone, everyone who signs on to listen to this launch party or series of people who will talk to and validate the platform, maybe with that, then they get their 2 weeks free. So they sign up, they join the launch party, they see the introduction. There's a prominent speaker in the industry that everyone wants to listen to. I don't know who that is, but I'm sure all of you can. There's a list that you could get someone on, and that would really inspire people to sign up, but not only to join to listen to the speaker, but they join for their 2 weeks.
That's a terrific idea. Terrific idea. And I like the concept of the launch party, because we didn't have that specific idea planned. So that's fantastic. It's kind of like that game. Who's the most famous person you can get to text you back right now? Ready, set, go.
Yeah.
Okay. So we all need to get someone famous we can get on the launch party call. So that's wonderful. We've got some great comments.
There are some very prominent, people in our industry that that we all know and that we consider friends. And even if their title is president or chairman or whatever it might be, there's a lot of engaging people out there, that I look to as leaders, and as we as agents look to as leaders. And having their involvement, having their feedback, them knowing that we're here. Working together on this, I think is very important. So Danielle, that's a great suggestion, and we would love to have that. And one of the things we talked about is over time, bringing in other guest speakers, being able to address some other areas of concern, and getting outside support that way, because there's a lot of people out there that can help us if we let them.
So
I think there's going to be a good group of us together next week. Maybe we could do a launch in Mexico.
That'd be great.
Yes. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're definitely going to be doing some hub stuff next week, Sarah. I'm going to be there with you.
So,
Launch-a-rita, be real. We know what's going to happen when you guys are all together.
Launch-a-palooza.
Yeah, we know what's going on. That sounds like fun. All right. Well, as Tom alluded to, if you look around the call and see the names on here, both of us are so grateful for your support, your guidance, your information. We're trying to build this out in the open so people see what we're up to. So that way it's as effective as we can be when we actually go live. But to recap, we go live on August 3rd, and we're going to put the membership site live this afternoon. So if you know people that know people, and you have groups and you have marketing lists and you have ways you can help us get the word out, we would be so grateful for that. We're going to continue to refine the manifest. We're going to continue to refine the virtual BDM program and take your feedback on that. And we're going to prepare our shows. So not only are we doing the social network where people talk to each other, we're going to work now on the weekly Hub Travel Think Tank interview show, our weekly live morning show, the HUBSTARS live broadcast events, Destination 101, and the travel postcard shows. All of those are in development right now, so we can be ready to go. So with that, we want to say thank you and travel safely. And we are so grateful for your support. Tom, anything you want to add before we sign off?
Yeah, same here. I really appreciate all of you taking the time out of your day. I know that there's a lot of things happening and people are busy and there's a lot of these events. So the fact that you took the time to come to this one is very much appreciated. I hope that you saw, for those of you that have been on, this is your second one, I hope that you're seeing some build. That we're following up, that we're listening, because that's the number one thing that we're going to continue to do. And this is only the starting point. Even for example, when you look at the postcard, when you look at the postcard that we made, that was the very first one that we made, right? Well, how can we continue to improve on our product? How can we continue to improve on our programming and really make it something unique and special? And you have my and Pat's commitment that we were going to work tirelessly to do this. This is a very important thing that we have a lot of passion for, and we're having a really great time building this and getting to know all of you and getting your feedback. I mean, especially from Pat's perspective, he's not a travel industry guy. He only knows one person on this call, Rose Gray, from back in the TMJ4 days. But getting to know all of you and really building this together is really a key. So thank you all very much for being here and all your feedback.
So thank you. Travel safely. Next time we see you will be the week of August 3rd when we launch. But between now and then, Tom at hubsocialnetwork.com, Pat at hubsocialnetwork.com. Hit the site, share it widely. Let us know how we can make it great. And thank you so much. We'll see you again real soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.